Okay, now going to the bobcatminer.com website. Here's where you could order. You just hit the order button, and for me it took me 8 weeks to get this, but now you have to get 12 to 20 weeks. You could only send crypto through Coinbase and Binance, so pretty much that's about it. This shows my receipt, and I just shows that I ordered 2 of them for $9.62. As you see here, this is China's Bobcat mining facility. Due to a global shortage of electronic components, usually it takes like around 8 to 12 weeks to get, but now it's 12 to 20 weeks. So that's the shipping timeline. But so far, it's all worth the wait. Right, as you see here, this is it's going by DHL. I had the tracking number. I ordered quantity 2, so it shipped from August 9 from Hong Kong, and going out August 10, goes to customs, goes to New York, and up to 11. And it took a while. It took a couple days after it was done, but I still had to wait 8 weeks plus additional week to get this thing. So, but it's all worth the wait. Okay, so now I got my miners right now, and I've waited for a long time for this. It's like 3 months almost for it to deliver, and they had a back order of those. Now it's like 12 weeks, so that's like 4 months almost. So I finally got it, and to look at this, you have what you know, it shows you the directions, what you have to do, and also the do's and don'ts. And if you look at the pamphlet, basically it just tells you not to put it outside. It's not really weatherproof. In my case, I put the antenna outside instead, but the Bobcat Miner inside. And that antenna has a magnetic base. Pretty much it's a really good antenna that operates on between 860 to 960 frequencies, megahertz. To look at the miner, this miner, let's try to open this up and let's just see. And you see the latch right there that you could just mount on the wall. You could just nail it on there or just screw it on there in the wall, and then you just hook the Bobcat Miner on there. So let's take that off. Now it comes with a DBI antenna and also a quad-core processor, and pretty much in the market that runs on Raspberry Pi. So Bobcat Miner 300 uses the industrial grade rock chip PX30, which is a high performance quad-core application processor, and it's designed for a high-end commercial application, which is good. Also has a 64 gigabyte storage, eMMC flash for better data security. And if you look at that feature is the Arrrgh, and that's where you connect the antenna. And the other ones are like the Bluetooth connector button, the TF card, the COM port, the Ethernet, and the power. So the DBI antenna, which came with it, is enhanced, which provides a wider network coverage, meaning better proof of coverage, which result for increased HNT earnings. So to place my miner, let's look at the top. If I would have placed it on my room in front of the tree, it's gonna absorb all the RF or the frequencies. So it's not gonna be beneficial to finding beacons or witnesses out there on the network. Now, I have a lot of buildings around me, but they're not too close. The building apartment I have is almost like a U-shaped apartment. So if I would have put that on the living room, it will lessen the signal, but it would be alright. It's better than the tree. Think about putting it at the very last window close to the kitchen from my living room. So the one and the third one on the bottom is probably the best bet for me, because what it does, the signal go wrap around it and continue on. I don't want any objects that's too close. Okay, let's go to my apartment and go into Google Maps, and as you see, this is my location. You see where I am located is right there. Come by if you want, that's fine. You see it's like around 15-16 feet off the ground. I don't want to put it right there because there's something that's blocking on this way, and you know, of course the apartment policy doesn't recommend to put an antenna on top of the roof, so I would definitely put the antenna in the line of sight. Now if you look here, there's a tree in front of my room, and there's no way I am going to put that Bobcat Miner antenna right there, because that's going to absorb all the RF frequencies. Now that's my neighbors right there, so I would that's an ideal place because there's nothing blocking the way. Google Earth, let's just go here to Google Earth. We're going to home down our location on top and see what it looks like. And you notice the U shape, and you see all the buildings on the way. Now with 4 dBi antenna range, as you see here, is this diagram, I'm going to get a better range of beacons and witnesses. But anything behind it, because my antenna is on front of the window, but I have to go through all the walls and the plaster walls, the frequency has to go through all that, so it's going to be kind of weak. Now if you see here the window that I have here, this is where I'm going to think about putting the Bobcat Miner. And you notice the window is double pane and looks like it has a single coating on it, which might interfere with the signal. So I decided to put it on outside and keep the miner inside. So that means I might have to get like some kind of thing that help the wire to go through the window. So I'm gonna research that. Okay, let's talk about the radio and microwave frequency attenuation in glass. According to the video you last saw, my windows are double paned, and I researched that it had some kind of coating, but it's just a very light coating, I think. So I was reading about this article here, how radio waves and microwave frequencies attenuates in glass. So since my Bobcat Miner antenna radiates 917 frequency, if you look here right after 800, this is where the frequency I am at. Since it's 4 dBi, this is, or dB, mine's about right here. So basically if you look at this chart here, I'm probably gonna lose like 3 dB because the frequency attenuates on my glass. So it's a glass laminate which either has no coating or has a double silver coating. And this one with no coating still attenuates, but with mine has a double silver coating. So you're looking at like a negative 35 dB that I lose. Vice what I'm putting out as 4 dB from my antenna. So that's a no deal there. So that will take time to get beacons and networks around me. It may not be as powerful because attenuation, it means like you lose signal through building materials. So you're looking at like not just windows, but you're looking at like concrete blocks, bricks, everything else you can see. So that's why I just put it outside. I decided to put my antenna outside, so I don't have to worry about all the attenuation that's happening indoors to get the signal out there. So that way you're able to earn more rewards through your beacon and through the witness. Okay, here we go. The flat cable that fits under the windows and doors. So since I'm going to put the miner outside, this would be ideal. So I could close the window, but I still have the connection. So this passes through the windows and doors. The length of the cable is end-to-end of connectors, and one is an RP-SMA male, and the other one is an N male. So pretty much it's high-quality soldered terminations of RP-SMA connectors. And pretty much eliminates the drilling through walls conventionally runs under or over the windows and doors. It's pretty much compatible with 915 megahertz antennas, and that's what I have. The connector body has gold-plated brass. The center contact, has a burr mill in copper, gold-plated. It's pretty cool. So this would be ideal for me. What we're looking here is, it took 6 days for me to get this through the mail, so depending on your location, pretty much that's about it. Okay, here I am. I got my mail after 6 days, and I'm just gonna open it up. And the thing I like about this thing, this is really good for any type of Wi-Fi standards. That's like a 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz applications, and all the 802s you could think of. It's compatible. It's very, very compatible with the wireless standards and applications. So it's really good range of frequency band compatibility. Usually from 0 to 18 gigahertz. Pretty much that's about it. Actually, can't wait to put this on. And as you know, this will fit on the behind the miner. And that's the RP-SMA male to RP-SMA female version of this cable. So that's probably what you want to get if you want to put the Bobcat Miner inside the room, and while you connect it out, the antenna outside, while you have your windows closed. So you don't need to drill anything. Basically, just go ahead. It fits this antenna perfectly, and if you see me screwing it on there, and it fits like a charm. Now, this antenna cable, it's pretty much compliant with the RoHS3 and the reach restriction on content of lead. So usually with other heavy metals and toxic materials. So it's pretty much easy to install. Fits to most Wi-Fi routers or anything that has the RP-SMA female connector. Can't wait to install this. Looks like it fits like a charm, and that part is going outside while the Bobcat Miner is inside. lots of choices here. Okay, we're back home, and I'm ready to install the miner on the wall, and I preferably to do it on top. Now, you could skip this part, the installment, but this will help you, get an idea where you should put it. And here's the panel that could be put on the wall. And the Bobcat Miner will be placed on that. I'm not sure if I'm going to use those nails, those screws or anything, but I'm probably going to get my own, which is shorter, because I have a really thick, dense wall, and those long screws is not going to help. So the first thing to do is to go ahead and set up where I'm going to put the miner. And it looks like I'm gonna get up here, and that's where the setup's gonna be, right up on top. Now luckily my window could open from the bottom and it could open from the top, and I could just slide the window from the top to go down, so I could go ahead and place the antenna outside the window. Now you notice I'm just making a mark here where the screws are, so that way I'm able to screw it. I'm gonna just nail a nail in there for a while, make a little perforation of the hole, and then just go ahead and screw the thing. And after I've done that, I got two small screws, which is more practical than the manufacturer screws, because those are too long. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and just mount that in there. Now this took a while for me because I was standing on a chair. It was pretty uncomfortable. I had to lean forward. There was routers and everything on the way. I didn't feel like unhooking all those. It would take like another hour to put everything back together. So I decided to work around it, but I had to lean forward and raising my hand, my arms and everything, and while I do this. Now some of y'all may have a ladder and all that, good for y'all. I just had a little chair to help me. But most of all, I just want to let you know the best place if you want to put a miner is just on top. If you're basically when you are higher, the higher you put the antenna, the better you'll get more rewards and witnesses. Okay, let's go ahead. It's taking a while to install this thing. Okay, and the Bobcat Miner should go on there. I've already placed the RP-SMA on there, that little tube thing, and that should go right to the through the window without having to drill holes. Yeah, you see it. I'm able to take off the shade off. Okay, I'm gonna light that down. You can see those buildings in the way, there are trees in the way, but the line of sight, this is the best line of sight I could put it. Now see, this window could open from the top. Some of y'all don't have that, so now I'm gonna run past that RP-SMA cable. But the only thing is, I went back and this wire is too long. So what I'm gonna do is just wrap aluminum foil around it, so that way it doesn't lose attenuation, and plus it will protect it. So whether it does or does not lose attenuation, I'm gonna wrap it with aluminum foil. So usually with aluminum foil will preserve the signal, that is prevent the signal loss when the wire, you know, the shorter the wire the better, you know, shorter the cable to your router is the best. Now if you see here, I'm trying to do the magnet through the window. That was the first plan, but I forgot that this window has a double pane. So a double pane window, it's going to be hard to conduct that magnetic thing, and so it's not going to be stable. So what I'm going to do, I'm thinking about using a double stick tape. Yeah, so here I just found out that it's not going to work with the magnets. Maybe the magnets, I could use it for something else, to use for additional ground. Or I'm thinking about wrapping a copper wire around that antenna and wrapping the magnet at the end and throw it to the roof. But it's not detectable. And that should increase the signal, but that's later down the road. Right now I'm going to put the aluminum foil, wrap it around the wires for protection, and not only that, just signal attenuation to prevent the loss of signals. Okay. Now some of y'all believe that or not, but a lot of I read a lot of articles that it does preserve the signal and makes it a lot better, and it also tracks other signals, preserves your signal, it tracks other signals. So let's go ahead and put this around. Now I put the double stick tape on the behind that magnetic antenna base, because that base of the antenna is magnetic, as you saw in the last video. So I'll put the clear double stick tape on there, and that thing holds around 15 pounds if I remember. There you go. See, I just left it right there. Let's go ahead and just push that window back up. You see, you could have the window closed. There ain't no bugs coming in and anything. You don't need to drill holes. RP-SMA works wonders. Okay, now I already put back the blinds. Let's plug it in. And this is a 5-volt adapter. It doesn't take a lot of energy or power. Now I had to take this off to plug it in because I'm not sure where to. Now the next thing to do is just plug in your Ethernet cable from your router, and luckily the router is nearby. Since my cord don't reach, you may either need an extension or just get a thing to stick it up there, you know, the power. Now if you see here, this cable is pretty old, so it's probably a Cat 4, Cat 5, which is projects like around at least 10, or I think it was like around 10 megabytes per second on the router, which is not fast. Now they have Cat 8, which is fast. Now if you look out here, I went outside the building. As you see, that the antenna there is not noticeable, which is a good thing. So when the landlord or something comes around, they're not going to notice it. They're going to say, oh, it's probably part of something, but it's not. I'm not breaking any rules here because I put it on top of my window, And when I put it on top of a window, you see all those buildings around, it's not going to really mess around with it. Alright, let's go to the Helium app, and we're just going to update, or I've already downloaded it, so this time I'm just going to update it. But you can find this on your Play or your app in your iOS. But for my case, I have the Samsung. So now once you get into your app, you want to add a hotspot, and obviously you'll see the Bobcat Miner. You press on that, and it shows you where you should place your miners. You don't want to put it there, you don't want to put it away from the window or those buildings, and especially you don't want to put it where bug screens or meshes. You know, metal meshes will block radio signals. Let's go ahead and hit I understand, and we're just gonna do diagnostics. And you see my miner is turned yellow, and that means to start it up, and then that's normal to turn red. As you see here, this is a Bluetooth pin. So basically, you have to hit the button in the back with that pin in order to turn on the Bluetooth mode to get your diagnostics. So let's just go ahead and do that. I had to take it off because it was so high up there. I don't know where to put that pin, so this just takes me a while to put it in. Okay, now you see it turned blue. That means it's Bluetooth mode. So what you need to do is go ahead and go back to the phone, and then you just scan for the hotspot. And what it does is gonna communicate with your Bobcat Miner 300. And up there you won't be able to see it because of the glare. It will say Bobcat 300, and you just press on that. Okay, once you have that, obviously you see right there, you just press Bobcat 300. It's gonna connect. Gotta give it some time. And since I'm using Ethernet cable, you don't want to do the configured network, so use the Ethernet and hit that Ethernet. So now it's asking to set up a hotspot location, so you just set location, and then what you do is just connect that location to that white dot there. So you gotta line it together, you gotta connect it. There you go. Okay, so now we just put the height, which is probably, I put 6 meters here, but I changed it before. I'm gonna have to change that to 4 meters because 16 or 15 feet is probably around 4 meters or 4.8. But you could always go back and change it. So since I live in a 2-story building, it should be 16 feet. That's probably like 4 meters, but I put 6 meters. That's not gonna make a difference in your performance of your Bobcat. Since my locality fee, $10, had been prepaid, you could only do this one time with your location fee. If you change your location, it's gonna be another fee, but this is coming out from your pocket. Okay, all right. So what you're gonna do is register the hotspot at that location free of charge, because it's prepaid. The problem is, if you change your location without earning any HNT and stuff, you have to go through Binance, which takes a while. And if you do the ACH, it's gonna take a long time. Now there you go. The name I registered. They automatically give you a name called, and they called me Drool Creep Manta Ray. So it's just random names they give for location. So I think you keep that name for that Bobcat Miner. Okay, we're gonna go online and see where my miner is. We're gonna go to heliumexplorer.com, and we're just gonna hit that button to the right, and you notice the market price is like 20 per HNT. So this fluctuates, so you could either earn more or less. So here I am, Drill Creep Manta Ray. So it will show 1 day ago, and it looks like it's syncing, but I'm not earning anything, or it's not transmitting anything yet. So here I'm gonna load, and all the status, it looks like it's trying to create a challenge. So that's gonna take like probably 5 hours or more. But I heard it took 6 hours, 6 days, I mean, for it to add to the blockchain. So it just has to keep up with the blockchain. But my theory is, if your internet is slow, it will take a long time to hit the blockchain. But I need to look at all the factors. So you notice other people, Joyce on Skunk, that's another person. Their hotspot is being relayed. So as you see there, and you don't want that. So in order to prevent that, you got to do the port forwarding, so which I'll show you in the next lesson. So this is where I am, and all of my information is there. And when you click on there, you'll see everyone else. Now let's get out of there and let's do port forwarding before it relays. Okay, let's go to CMD right now, and if we see here, we're just gonna go check the ports. We're just gonna go ahead and ping 10.0.0.125, which is the Bobcat Miner's IP, local area network. So it's showing destination host unreachable, so something is blocking it, or either that or my cable is messed up, or nothing's configured. But I'm going to figure that out at the end. So let's go to Nmap Online Port Scanner, and we're going to check that. And just put my IP address there. I'm going to go ahead and put the Bobcat Miner IP address. And you notice I blocked it out. And I'm going to scan all common ports. So it looks like all that is closed. In a way, that's good news, so you don't have hackers coming in, just kind of checking if your ports is closed. But I don't see 125 under support, so it's not reading 125 at all. So we're going to try to port forward this thing. If you don't know how to get to the router, there are tutorials out there, but it's not hard. You just have to go to your CMD and find out by ipconfig/all. Now let's go to connected device inside your router, and you're gonna see your Bobcat Miner has red, so you notice the IPv4 is 125 at the end. You see the MAC address. Let's go to port forward. You need to go to the advanced, and we're gonna port forward it. Now since this layout is different, your router might be different from mine. All you have to find is just a port forwarding. So let's just, in this case, I have Xfinity. We're gonna hit home. You can see the Bobcat Miner there. Let's go ahead and see the device details in there. Yep. And we're gonna troubleshoot it. Looks like the basic connection and fast downloads has Ethernet connection is reading it. Let's go hit network. We're gonna go to advanced setting, and then anything that says port forwarding on your screen, you may have something different than mine. Okay. Now you just select the device to port forward. You want the manual setup, and you want to put the recommended 44158. And I usually put TCP/UDP. which TCP is a three-way handshake. UDP is just constant spilling of information data, but it's not secure. But you got a combination secure and insecure, which is okay. Port range 1 through 44158. So once the port is added, you want to go ahead and check your see if it is going through. And if it doesn't, no problem. It could be a physical issue. It could be your router, it could be your cable. Always check the cable, but this time I didn't. It took me a while. So let's go ahead and ping from the CMD. Okay, it could be a physical issue, so it's gonna probably take a while. But I'm just gonna go ahead and check everything else here. Give me 1 minute. Let's go to Nmap online port scanner. It's reading all those ports, but it's not showing 44 and 158. Sorry. And according to my diagnostics, after I did the Bluetooth, the outbound and inbound is not turned green. It's supposed to be green. And the thing in the bottom should, the NAT type address should say none instead of unknown or symmetrical. That means it's going through. Blockchain sync is 0%, but according to the internet, it looked like it went through. But the 169 is the PIPA address, which is a self-addressable thing if it's not reachable by the DHCP. Alright, so we're going back. We're going to restart a gateway and see if that helps. I'm kind of going backwards from the OSI layer, and those who knows about the OSI layer, I'm starting from the application layer all the way down to the physical layer. So usually troubleshooting should start from the bottom and up, but in this case I'm already here. But I'm showing you how to get into the router and how to port forward, and from there on I just troubleshoot and going down. Okay, it looks like there's no indication of green. Showing the real IP address, which it shouldn't show. It should only show the IP from that's reserved, which is 10.0.125. Alright, let's go to Helium Vision. Actually, Helium Explorer, I'm sorry. We're gonna go check our Dog Creek Manned Array location, and this is the location where I'm at, shown from the map. And if you see the yellow right there, that's not good, or it either says offline, which it is right now, and I was afraid that would happen, but there's always a way around it. So if we check the milestone hotspot status, which is showing it's not all the way complete, it's been like almost 2 days now. Yeah, I started the location 2 days ago, so let's just go check something else here. Now, in order to relocate, it's showing here that when I open my my app, and I'll just go under progress, it shows it syncs to blockchain, but it's pending. Everything's pending. Hotspot is offline and not syncing, so it needs attention. So you have to press that and see what needs attention. And on top, you see unable to assert location for Dog Creek Manned Array for a reason, which is invalid, insufficient DC, and HNT balance. Okay, I must have reset the locality thing, so that means I have to get some locality thing through Binance. So we might have to go to the wallet. You want to copy the address. When it's copied, you go to your messenger, and just I usually like to email it to my desktop, so I email it to myself so I can access it to my desktop. Alright, go ahead and send that. Okay, let's go to my desktop and just get out of my phone. And we'll check the mail there. And let's go ahead and highlight that. Left click and copy. Let's go to Binance.us if you're in USA. If you're outside USA, it's Binance.com. So I've already signed in, so if you haven't signed in, just go ahead and sign in. And this is the procedure. You got like the two-factor authentication. So once you sign in, you have to send the SMS through your phone to authenticate that it's you. I'll go ahead and put the code down. You notice I've already put some money in there for the I think for the HNT. So let's just go withdraw. In order to do that, withdraw, and we just hit withdraw. We're just gonna put HNT. All right, and then we're gonna max it. But look, the problem is the minimal withdrawal of 2.00, so that's like $50 almost HNT, plus the transaction fee, which is $1. So I don't have enough in there. So what I'm gonna do is withdraw from my bank account. So I'm withdrawing. Shoot, it might not be enough. I don't know. Let's go to the USD and HNT calculator. We're gonna put 2 point. That's about almost 45, almost $50. I was right. Let's go back and just add that on there. Let's add the difference. I already got like $20 in there. Let's just go 46 minus. How much do I have in my wallet? 2006. $25.94 difference. So that's all I need to withdraw. Alright, you want to go ahead and make sure you put the HNT in your bank and then the amount. And you want to preview the purchase. Yes, I have read. Confirm. Okay, something went wrong. Let's go to the wallet. Okay, it looks like it went in there, but since it's an ACH, a withdrawal from direct from the bank, I think Binance will probably take around 10 days, which I forgot that it takes that long. So anyone's using Binance.us, remember, if you're gonna withdraw stuff directly from your bank, it's gonna be 10 days. Alright, so it looks like it. Let's just go ahead and try. We're gonna go deposit back to that address, and we put the recipient address from what we copied from our email that was sent from our app, and we paste that, and we're just going to submit it, send SMS. Okay, a portion of your asset has been locked and currently unable to withdraw. Okay, I think it's gonna take a while for the funds to settle in. 10 freaking long days. My God. Now, I think with a debit card, I remember reading it was 6 days. Now, I forgot the transaction fee there too, so I should have added that with it. But these mistakes you can learn from. And that's why I'm just going through this tutorial for you. So it's only $1.15 transaction fee. It's not much. Compared to Ethereum, you're looking at like a lot. Ethereum is the most expensive. You're looking at $30, $18 transaction. Crazy. I'm just gonna put in $5 and, you know, just to get it over with. Okay, and like from my mistakes, I want you to learn that requires you need to deposit 46.20 USD. Okay. Because there's a limit. It takes 10 days and 6 days. 10 days from ACH, 6 days from debit. 3 more days to start up for mining. So luckily I got a second miner and I installed that second miner right there and it connected it. And the reason I installed the second miner, it has a free locality without having to pay a fee from your HNT. So let's just go into their app and let's just check it out. And actually the new name for the second one is Skinny Coconut Crow, which is a funny name. Now Drone Creep Manta Ray is no longer existing because I took that miner down and I put that second miner which I bought. Thank God I got a backup, because otherwise I have to wait for that money to come in. But every new miner you put in, you have a free locality, $10 prepaid. But once you use or played around with it, with your locality, it's going to charge you. And it's going to be harder to get around with that HNT, because you have to wait for it. Let's go to our router. In my case, it's 10.0.0.1. Go ahead and put in your password and username. Okay, let's go to port forward. We're gonna port forward this new miner that we put in. And you notice there's one miner. That's the miner that I have right now. It's still the Bobcat. Now you notice the device details. I don't think this is updated, so I might have to restart the router or just wait a little bit. So 6 device not connected. That's the Dog Creep Monterey one, and it's showing the real IP address. And usually there's an IPv4 that blocks that, you know, that mask data IP address. Okay, so we're gonna go. It looks like it's not updated because it shouldn't be 10.0.0.125. It should be a different IP address. So let's do the port forwarding. Let's give it a try. It's already done, but that was the old miner I had. I changed that one. So we're gonna go back. Okay, yeah, see? So you got, remember, you got to wait for your gateway to update, or you just have to like restart it or something, your gateway. I'm gonna give it some time, so now it's 23.25 per HNT. Drop creep and raised there, but my skinny coconut crow is lighted green. That's dog creep miner still offline because I took it out, and this one's syncing, and it's creating a challenge, which is good. Now we're gonna check something else here. Those are the nearby neighbors. Okay, so hours later I wanted to check on the router. I went back and checked on the router and to see if anything's updated. And as you see, it is updated, and you see 2 Bobcat miners listed there. And one of is the old one, one of is the new one. But let's take a look at it and make sure we don't get confused. So that one has a different IP address. It's a 10.0.0.52. That's the new one. Let's go to the port forward. Now, I've already renamed this before this tutorial, but I remember resetting your router or waiting for it to come in. It's gonna update. Now, Bobcat Crow, not sure why. I mean, the old Bobcat Manta Ray, not sure why it's showing as green, but it shouldn't be there. So I think the router has a problem updating itself on time. But anyway, right now it's updated. So we're going to the Bobcat crew. We're going to go ahead and see, this one is already on there automatically. So the port forward was already port forwarded. I port forwarded this before this video. So there's a red light that's appearing on my Bobcat Miner, so I went ahead to went inside the router and went inside the gateway, hardware, and LAN Ethernet. And as you know, this cable seems like it's not functioning well, so I think I changed it. I put the router up, I changed the cable, and I'm throwing away that one because that's like a Cat 4 or Cat 3, which is like 10 megabits per second, which was showing on the router on port 3. So I took that out and look at it right now. It's 100 megabytes per second, and that's what you want to see. And after all the troubleshooting, look, the green appeared. So lesson learned, always check the physical layer. Let's go ahead and ping it, and just to make sure and be sure that it's communicating with that port of the new Bobcat Miner. And good, we're getting a reply for time to live, all 32 bits. So now let's go ahead and check the diagnostic report from our app, and there you are. Outbound, inbound should be green. NAT type should be symmetric or none, and the IP address should change into 10.00.54. Alright, let's get into our app and see where we are right now. And 8 days has went by quick, and this is the progress, and it's synced to the blockchain fully. That's completed. Hotspot status is complete. It created a challenge, witness a challenge in a witness list, pass the challenge, transfer data. So everything's done. I got a total of 32 witnesses. It's pretty good for 8 days. Let's go to the earnings. When I started, when things start to sync, I didn't earn that much in the beginning. So let's say August 26th, they're gonna 0.07, and then it added up to 0.73. An additional for the next for August 28th, Saturday, was 1.05. August 29th is 0.83. The other one is 0.75, 0.73, kind of like almost the average there. This is where I made the most, and that was Wednesday, September 1st, and that's like 1.53 HNT, and I think that's because I added a signal, kind of like a signal booster, kind of like a aluminum. It's not aluminum foil, but some kind of aluminum pan I put by the window, so the radio waves, radio frequencies will bounce off of it and magnify it. September 2 is 128. It's looking good. Right now it's not even 24 hours yet, so it's 0.09. And the total in 8 days I made 162.30, which is pretty good for like a week almost. And let's look at the mining rewards, and this is how much I'm making per an hour. Not very much, but sometimes a little more, sometimes less, you know, but this is like going on for 24 hours, and so far so good. Okay, let's just look at my my hotspot. So this is who I am, and it'll say 1 week, but it's really 8 days, but it's like a week. And so far I made like 7.07 HNT. Let's go check. Of course, 161.66. Sometimes the market will fluctuate. And I got a total of 32 witness and 337 beacons. That's a lot in 1 week. Okay, so let's go check out the others. This person started ahead of me, and he's just right next door, you know, the next hexagon. And it was 2 weeks ago. And look, he's only making 1.58 HNT. Let's take a look at his earnings. 7 days, 21.22. He has a total of 7 witnesses and only average of 70 beacons. So let's just say maybe he's not doing something right. Maybe he just kept it inside his house, his antenna. He probably put it behind a screen mesh which absorbs radio waves, or had buildings and trees in the way, didn't have the line of sight, probably losing some frequencies, attenuating all over the household. There's many factors, and main thing, sometimes it's slow internet is usually the case. Sometimes with Wi-Fi, I use a direct cable, like a Ethernet cable. I think I noticed a big difference when I changed the cable. Instead of 10 megabits per second, it's 100 megabits per second now, so it was able to keep up with the blockchain really quick and home into a lot of basically complete all the 7 checklists here, or actually it's more than that. This guy has probably, just didn't have the right setup and didn't put the antenna where it should be. Usually the antenna, in my opinion, should be outside, out in the open. Up in the roof is the best place, and without any distractions. Now, no trees, no building in the way. Now, if I would have did that, I would have had really made more HNTs. So in this case, let's just go compare with other guys here. See, this guy's 3 months, and he's already making 8.26 HNT. I'm almost caught up with him right here. I got 7.07 HNT. Okay, so there's something wrong that he's doing. This is all my witnesses. Now remember, all your witnesses, if it's like 1.00, the more you'll get from them, you know, HNT, once you home into the beacons as a witness. So let's go to the statistics. Let me give you an example of one person who's making really good money, and that's at the Bull Run Mountain Estates. And these guys got it right. I don't know what they did, but even for 2 months or 4 months ago, they're making like 161.72 HNT. That's like almost $1,000, more than $1,000 a month. So every 24 hours or every day, they're making 123.77. That's a lot of money per day without doing nothing. I mean, all they do is just sit home and whatever. In 7 days, they'll make that almost $1,000. This guy, actually, he's really making $3,700. So let's go over here. "24 hours. He is making 145.77. 7 days, 789.20, and also 3,600. He has only 92 witnesses, but look at his DBI. That's pretty high. He's in a remote area. Look, he's using a Cal chip connected device with 14.5 DBI. That's pretty high. Now remember, the higher the DBI, the narrower the frequency will go, or the ray. Like, the lower it is, the more 360 you'll get the coverage. For 14.5, the more higher you go with a DBI, it's going to be more focused in one area, but you're not going to get the whole coverage. So you're probably going to get like 45 degrees. Let's just go back to where I'm at. So whatever they did, they're doing the right thing. I think because you live in a city, your rewards get lower for some reason, and that's done by design. So far for 8 days, I'm doing pretty good. Now the next video, I think I'm gonna put in for like 8 gigahertz. Like that's a Cat 8 Ethernet cable, and I'm thinking about getting that and then connect that, because that's a lot faster than 100 megabits per second than what I have. I'm just thinking that if I put gigahertz, you know, let's go to Amazon, I'll show you. It's a Cat 8. Now, remember, if you buy Ethernet cable, remember it has to be short. The longer it is, the more it attenuates or lose frequency, okay, by certain amounts. So you don't want that. Okay, so I'm gonna get like 6 feet, because my router is almost 6 feet to my Bobcat Miner, but I would not recommend 50 feet if you're gonna do that. This is shielded, and this is 2,000 megahertz. Now think about that. That's high-speed cable. like LAN network RJ45 cable. Now RJ45 is an Ethernet cable, so this is going to be very good for reception for the internet communication for my Bobcat Miner. So let's just see how that goes. So I'll make a next video about it, and I will see if there's any increase in my HNT. Thank you.